Well, I don't have a busy day tomorrow. We really don't know what we're going to do. We had a lot of horses to qualify in school tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain all day long. Now, it's like a 60% chance and 70, then 80. That could mean anything at this place. I saw it rain as hard as I've seen it rain in quite a while tonight, right after it, as we were going on the track with Hill of Magic. It downpoured and really delayed the races 30, 40 minutes. Man, it rained, and you just never know here. It's pretty cool in that regard where the weather can change so quickly. I missed the rain at the Meadows literally by minutes. And then I thought, geez, the way the night started out, it looked like it was going to be all right for a while, and then it rained really hard, and then it didn't, and so I don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. One thing's for sure, I am going to Columbus to drive Path of Totality in tough, but excited to drive her in that class. That filly, she really seemed to get over Columbus's surface well last week, so we'll see if we can miss the rain down there too and luck out. Friday we got a big day. Obviously we have 2 fillies and 2 colts in, with Of Tom and Purple Aura racing in the Sire Stakes, first Sire Stakes of the year for the fillies. And then on the Colt side, we have Voyage of Ice and Fire. Slim Jimmy making his first lifetime start in the Sire Stakes. So those are pretty cool. Those things going on also. Now back to the fillies. We had 4 fillies racing tonight. I don't think I was surprised with anybody. The times were really hard to get a handle on. Right after it poured rain, they scraped the track on the inside a little bit. The next race went quick, but then the mud started to settle in as they screened it. And every race was a little bit different. As the night went on, the track tightened up a little bit. So it was really hard to get a real gauge on what went on. One thing's for sure, I told you guys I was really impressed with Sweet on Pete. Now, looking over the rest of the evening in reflection, as I looked at the results moments ago, some went faster, some look really good. I thought one of the standouts of the night was a long tom that Ryan Stahl had driven in Hill of Magic's race. He backed out around me down the backstretch and came charging the last 3/8 of the mile. I thought that horse looked rather well. But overall, our horse is very happy. Sweet on Pete, green on the front end, but very, very powerful and strong. She drew away down the lane when we needed her to. Just looked great. Exactly how I advertised her as looking over the last week or so. Just really impressed. This is a filly that should struggle on a half, to be honest. She should love Scioto Downs. Just really trotting well and looking good. I see a lot of growth there. I see a filly we could let the hobbles out on, change some stuff on her that could really help her move forward. So as the year goes on, I think we'll go there. I know I had said, she should get right up into the Sire Stakes, but I think we'll hang out at the Buckeye for a little bit with her. I like what I see from her a lot, and I don't want to ask more. Tonight was really a workout, but at the same time, certainly didn't go to the well on her tonight. And I mean, I asked her to trot down the lane, but halfway down the lane, I wrapped her back up. She was very, very strong. A horse that disappointed me the last 2 weeks now, 3 weeks, was Hill of Magic. We scoped her after the race. There was nothing doing there. So we'll draw her blood tomorrow. There's got to be something going on. This is a filly that either she's really fooled me, which is possible. It's been done before, or there's something going on there. She had a beautiful gait tonight. She wasn't on a line. I floated. This is the first race after the monsoon. Now, usually you go every hour. We're at about an hour and 40 now, from when she warmed up to when she raced because of that rainstorm. But everybody in that race was. So I floated off the gate. I'm thinking, my filly's as good as virtually everybody in here. I'm not going to get in a rush. I don't want to put her on the run. And you have to remember, too, the rail is soaking wet. Even in the 2-wide path, it seemed to be better. So at that point, as I looked at the track, I wasn't really that worried to be in the 2-wide path for a little bit, especially in the turns, because it rained so hard and the turns are so banked that the water ran down and washed away a lot of the inside of the track. So what they had to do is dig into the track, which now it's soaking wet, and then screen it. So it was pretty mucky down on the inside in the turn. So I thought, it's not really a bad place to be out here for a bit, but she really had nothing to offer. She really didn't step forward in any way. She didn't show me any pop. So that may be an indicator in that regard of something that was going on with her, because she didn't have any jam to her. So, I mean, worst case scenario, she's a fluid trotter. I'll find a spot for her. But man, it would be pretty depressing to think that, she's a mid-range Buckeye filly. It could be. but we'll see. We'll see. So I don't want to talk too much about Hill of Magic. I think it was pretty obvious to everybody, both owners and spectators from the stable, that she was a little lackluster tonight. Now, a mile that might have looked lackluster but was actually very, very good was 1-2 Skip a Few. You know, with all the rain, I don't think we really got her warmed up as hard and as strong as we wanted to. I could tell in the post parade, you guys had noticed that were watching the Soundcast, she made a break, and I just kind of let her gallop. I was trying to get her thawed out. And this is a half-mile track and a front-end bias track also. A lot of half-mile tracks are, but this one especially. So to get away so far back at the quarter pole, I'm really hoping for her to thaw out quickly so I can get her underway and the front end to collapse, and neither happened. It really took me almost to the 5/8 pole to get her rocking, and the front end really didn't let go. She trotted the last half in 58-2, last quarter in 29-2, I believe. Trotted out of her skin the last, well past the quarter pole. So I don't want to say 3/8, but over a quarter of a mile, she trotted as hard as she could on the end of the mile. I think there's a lot of room for growth with this filly. We're going to have a lot of fun with her. One, she's handy on the fares. And two, I think she was shod maybe a little close this week. Just something was up with her. She didn't thaw out the way she did at the fair. So I warmed her up hard at the fair, so maybe it was the fact that the fair track maybe was a little deeper. Remember I told you guys at the fair, the track was really sandy, and a lot of the horses, you could tell they were landing on it a little more comfortably. This track here is stone dust, and especially when you pound it with the rain like that, it gets rather hard underneath. So it was difficult to traverse because the rails all chewed to hell because they had cut it open, and now it's soup. Yet the straightaways are kind of hard because the rain hit it hard. So it was a really, really hard track for a horse like her to get a hold of. But she showed her tenacity and really punched through with a big mile. 2-1-2 on an off track, last half 58-2, last quarter 29-2. I was thoroughly pleased with her. And then Isa 10, you guys, you know I was very careful with her, right? She made a break at the fair. She made a break, that's the second time she made a break. Coming out of the gate. Coming out of the gate at the fair, and then maybe it was a schooler. But we've really been working hard on her shoeing now. I like what I see tonight. The shoes that we have on her now, those will be her shoes. I'm very, very happy with what I saw from her gait. We did put a set of Go Straights on her. I don't think they're going to have to stay on her very long, but overall, I was really happy. Had I been able to look at the way she trotted down the lane, I would have flipped her 3 deep in the turn, put her in gear, and I would have went to the winner's circle, absolutely, for sure. Problem was, she made a break when we put her in gear at the fairs, and although I was certain that wouldn't happen, I wasn't positive. And now, only upon reflection and after the race, can I honestly say, yeah, that was as good. That was definitely her best mile. And people are going to say, well, 2-3 off a half in a minute. A lot went on in that race, and a lot has gone on with this filly. But for my partners out there looking at this filly, as I said, speed won't be a problem. It's the mind, right? She didn't hit her knees tonight. If she touched her shin, it was very minor, very, very minor. So the way we have her shod is the way to go. Now, this was, as I said to you guys, a lot of trial and error is what goes into this shoeing. You know, we tried this, it didn't work. We tried to tinker a little bit this way, it didn't work. Okay, the further we go to this, to open-toed shoes and egg bars behind, it's just not working. She feels like she's swimming out there. She's not getting a hold of the track like I'd like to see. So we went back to a closed-toe shoe, and I put aluminums on her behind, which I don't love. For horsemen that are out there, you'll know the easiest way to see how bad the aluminums are bugging them is simply within a start or two on a stone dust track. You'll see the outsides of those shoes starting to get worn right thin. So just keep an eye on how she's wearing those shoes, and she'll let you know quite quickly if it's working. I hope she wears them evenly, because the way she shod right now is perfect. Give her 3 starts and let her confidence build in those shoes. I think you're going to see the filly that we've been long awaiting. But it was in there. You could see her pushing on the end of the mile. It's been a while since she's been able to do that. So a big mile, although it wasn't a fast mile and it wasn't a flashy mile, it was a big step forward and a big mile for Isa 10 tonight. So I was thoroughly pleased with Sweet on Pete. Did exactly what I thought she'd do today. Just jogged. Isa 10 was exceptionally good. 1 2 Skip a Few was sneakily good. You guys go back and watch the race again. Look at what had happened in the race. Take into context the condition of the track at that moment. 1 2 Skip a Few was exceptionally good tonight. And then, of course, I was disappointed with Hill of Magic, but we'll get to the bottom of what's going on with her. And if not, we'll find a place for her. I can assure you of that. So there is what took place tonight. I know we had a couple of horses race tonight. Spend That Money made a break. She's really going to have to not do that again for quite a while, and she's going to have to get in on a regular basis and be consistent in her miles, or there's not going to be a spot on the roster for her any longer. You know, I protected her for that class. It's not filling every week now. Then she goes out tonight at 10-1, mind you, and makes a break coming to the half. That stuff can't happen with this filly, so we'll see what's taking place with Spend That Money, but that had not be repeated. And Italian Grit got rough coming out of the gate and then faltered. I haven't talked to Travis yet. We're trying to find a class proper for him. There should be condition claimers for these horses. There isn't. And this is directly due to the horse shortage. Obviously, when you have a lockdown, who gets sold? The cheaper horses. So when you're trying to fill those cheaper classes, there's just not enough horses around anymore. And waiting for that trickle-down effect of horses that are in conditions right now, and finally people are like, just put them in a condition claimer. It's not happening quick enough. So we're finding some real shortages with the classes for horses like Italian Grit. So not a very successful night in Ontario. Great day for us at Saratoga. Obviously, Cruising in Style didn't have any luck when he got away at the back. But definitely Mark Beckwith had a good day with our New York bred pacing filly. Very happy to see So Admirable winning 55-3. And then tonight, as I said in great detail, very impressed tonight. Sweet on Pete, great job. Exactly as advertised all week. Very, very happy that things went well with Isa 10. And 1 2 Skip a Few. Long year for this filly, and she's going to get better as we go along. So that is your recap, your rundown. It is 12:40 at night. And get a little shut-eye if that's all right with you. Still got lots to do tomorrow. Take care.